Me Ingia Hosea Mbutuk Akuja from KICHE ward, and I'm just bringing up an opening for a presentation of KICHE, a proposed presentation of KICHE Strategic Development Plan. This development plan came about as a result of understanding and collaboration between BCDA, that is Bache Cultural Development Association, and KICHE Good Governance Forum. The two associations saw it necessary that we should know where KICHE is coming from in terms of development, and then we should know what we need, at what position are we now, and what we need in the coming future, so that we can be out of the dungeons of this stagnance in terms of development that we are in. And a team was set out. A team was set out to go out and research and come back with facts on ground. And so Mr. Musa Ashen, Victor Kuchili, and then by extension myself, Jose Mbutuk Akuja, we are set to go around Rukuba land. We went around, we saw what was on ground, we interviewed a few people, and we are able to come out with the facts that are going to be presented today. They are for our absorption, they are for our thinking, they are for our strategizing and rethinking and repositioning our land. And Mr. Musa Ashen will be carrying us along that. Once again, we will give thanks to BCDA and Bache KICHE Good Governance Forum that have made it possible for this fact-finding to be eventually produced into a strategic development plan. Initially, it was just a fact-finding, but Mr. Musa Ashen and Mr. Jose Mbutuk Akuja felt, why not develop this into a strategic development plan for KICHE land, a template where KICHE can use from now till, like, say 20, 25, 30 years, and then we can look back and say KICHE has grown. And that is the essence of this presentation, so that we can all think in that direction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our attention all in one place and listen to Mr. Musa Ashen while he presents. Thank you very much, and may this be rewarding for us all.
KICHE Development Plan is a plan that every community must have in order to progress. It is a plan that defines who we are, where we are right now, and where we are heading to, and how long we are going to take for us to be able to reach our destination, and what are the various activities that we think we should be able to do to enhance us to reach that destination that we are yearning to reach. That is the essence of KICHE Development Plan. So that as a people, as Rukuba people, where are we right now? What are those facilities that we have right now that will be able to help us to reach our destination tomorrow? For us to be able to analyze the KICHE development plan very well, we have to look at them. We have to look at the development plan from sector by sector to enable us to be able to understand where we are right now and what are those things that we need to do and how are we going to do them in order to move forward. The education sector is an important tool which is very useful in everybody's life. It empowers human beings and gets them ready to face the challenges of life efficiently. In KICHE ward, we have 11 primary schools, and out of these 11 primary schools, we have male, 947 male, and 1,043 females, which gives us a total of 1,990 pupils as pupils of these 11 primary schools. And in these 11 primary schools, we have 40 teaching staffs and 18 non-teaching staffs, giving us a total number of 48 teachers in these 11 primary schools. And we have about 435 desks to take care of this number of 1,990 pupils. And most of these desks, they are either spoiled and the schools are in bad shapes, no windows, no ceilings, no doors, and it's bare floor. You will discover that most of the floors are bad. Going to KICHE ward. In KICHE ward, we have about 15 primary schools. And out of these 15 primary schools, we have 159 male enrollments. And we have 1,748 female enrollments as pupils, giving us a total of 3,332 pupils. 3,332 pupils. And out of in this school, we have about 139 teachers. 139 teachers that are teaching. Then non-academic staffs are just 19. Non-academic staffs are just 19, giving us a total of 155. Then in total, in the whole of KICHE land, we have about 53 primary schools. And out of these 53 primary schools, we have 5,442 male enrollments. And we have 6,226 female enrollment. And now giving us a total of 11,418 pupils in the entire 53 primary schools that we have in KICHE land. And the teaching staff in KICHE land, they are just 402 primary teachers, while the non-teachers, they are 81, giving us a total number of 452 teachers to take care of pupils. No, to take care of 11,418 pupils in the entire primary schools. As regards secondary schools, KICHE is blessed with both private and public secondary schools. Each ward has a secondary school. But going through the lineup of the wards that we have, for Mofara, we have a junior secondary school. We have Buguru, which is private. And total building blocks is just 1. And number of classes, they are just 2. And we have the entire structures of the classes are even bad. Same in Mafara ward. If you go to Bomo, we have 1 private school, 2. That is Bomo Community Secondary School. It has 1 borehole, and the structures, they are good. The structures are good because it is a new school. Then moving from Mafara, let's go to Kishika. In Kishika, we have Binchi Secondary School. It has both junior and senior secondary schools. It does not have a single borehole, and in terms of the physical appearance of the structures, they are a bit okay. They are not bad. When you go down to Buyo, you will discover that we have junior and senior secondary school in Buyo, and it has about 2 blocks of classrooms and about 5 classrooms without a single borehole. No water, no toilet. Then when you go to Kakek, we have GSS Zagu, which is a science secondary school, acclaimed science secondary school. It has 4 blocks, and there are 9 rooms as classes, and they don't have electricity, and the structures, they are fairly good. Going down to Buhit, that is, we have Adizinga. In Adizinga, we have the junior and senior secondary school, of which it has about 3 blocks, and out of these 3 blocks, they have 9 classrooms, but no water, no toilet. When you go to Adizinga bypass, we usually have Methodist Primary School, and the Methodist Primary School, it has about 3 blocks, 10 classrooms, and it has a well, and the structures are a bit fair. In the tertiary institution, we have only 1 tertiary institution in KICHE, and it is located at Adizinga. There exists only 1 private which is a private polytechnic, and the private polytechnic is a bit substandard, located where it's not supposed to be located, close to the area court in Jebubasa. That place is very tight. Their structures are a bit bad, and you will discover that they don't have enough facilities, and the location completely is inadequate. The location is not good for a tertiary institution. But at least we can still hit our chest and say we have a private polytechnic in KICHE land.
The state of our education is really pathetic. We thank God for the infrastructures that are there. We thank God for the possibilities of sourcing for funds and strategies that we can use, adopting the Adobe way of developing our schools and the amenities and facilities that we need. But then the world is going digital. Looking at education, we have heard what our brother has just laid out as the challenges and the way forward. But we should also look, I am of the opinion that we should also include the possibility of Bache people investing in a software development where people can go to school online. There are very online studies. There are very many online studies. Like I personally have studied and received certificate from institutions abroad, sitting at home here. So it is possible for us to look at the possibility of that investment. Everybody's attention is going back to the internet day by day. People spend more time with their phones and laptops more than they will spend time with books. And in any case, the books are online as well. Lectures are online on videos. And then it's just a platform that I think we can put together and invest in it. And this platform can issue certificates. And then all the professionals in education in our midst, Professor Amuga, I believe, and a host of others, could work out a modality where we could be affiliated, maybe to Nasarawa State University, maybe to UJ, maybe to any university that can offer us affiliation when everything that is required is done. And we'll just have that kind of arrangement. It will go a long way in reducing the stress of educating our people, and it will go a long way in reducing the level of illiteracy in our land.
As regards to health sector, in the health sector, you will discover that we have both primary and secondary health institutions. In the primary institutions, we have clinics, we have dispensaries, and we have so many smaller private and public institutions that are primary in nature. While we come to the secondary aspects, with secondary health institutions, we have at least two existing ones. We have that of Kisaloy Cottage Hospital and Binchi Cottage Hospital. And these secondary institutions have been operating, although not in full capacity, but at least they are operating. They have been taking care of the health needs that are within the localities of KICHE land. With all these cash crops that are being produced in KICHE land, you will discover that the agri sector has a lot of potential that can always be tapped upon. We have cottage industries that can come up to be able to what? To be able to absorb all these cash crops that are being produced to create more employment and to bring in more revenue to the inhabitants of these particular areas. As BCDA, how can we improve dry season farming? Let's look at it from district by district. In Mafara, we can decide to have a mini dam at locations such as Ukavu and Ibandi. We can excavate, expand, and even stone pitch to form an earth dam because there are existing natural streams and rivers within these places. And this can serve over 1,000, water can serve over 8,000 people. Going to Kishika, we have the Kishika River. We can have at locations such as Kahikuk, and Kashikuk, Kasakuk, and Kasakuk. Kahiku and Kasakuk. We can have mini dams in such areas. When we go to Kakek, at Kakek we have a river at Aban. We can make an art dam there. We have a stream at Agbaji Awambo. We can use that as an art dam. Then when we go down to Buhit, in Buhit we have a stream at Kisagit which can be expanded, which we can turn it to an art dam. Even an electricity can be generated there. We equally have a stream at Kisaloy that we can create an art dam there. When all these dams are created, it will boost agriculture in KICHE land during the dry season. And even fishing, we can convert these dams to fishing areas. Primary health care institutions, we were able to identify about 5. One at Adizinga, close to the police station. The other one at KICHE, on your way to Guyo, but unfortunately that one is completely vandalized. It's no longer existing, it's only the structure that you will see there. Then we have one at Buyo, of which it is not operating because they claim that there are no drugs. So the structure is there, the structure is fine, but there are no drugs, so nothing is happening there. We equally have one at Asak. That one too although the structure is there too, but it is a little bit dilapidated, it means maintenance. Then we have one at Bomo. So all these primary healthcare institutions, they are in need, no electricity, they are in need of electricity. They don't have water, they don't have drugs. Some have facilities to be able to at least accept pregnant women, but unfortunately, because no water, no drugs, nothing, most of them, they don't perform such functions. The challenges of most of our primary schools in villages is that the teachers hardly, most of them, don't want to live in such areas. Why? Because accessing those areas, the nature of their roads are bad, no electricity, no facilities, and in view of that, most of them prefer to live in the cities and go there once a blue moon. A teacher will go there maybe once in a week or once in 2 weeks. So in view of that, we have no choice. The schools have no choice than to what? Than to lean on the activities of volunteers. That is the non-academics. So if these teachers only go back to those schools when they notice that supervisors will be coming from their head office. If supervisors will be coming from their head office, that is when you see most of these teachers.
In the same line of technology, we have doctors and medical personnel in KICHE land. We have doctors, we have professors of medicine, medical professors, so to say. We have professors, we have doctors, we have nurses and other health personnel in Rukuba land. And if we must go by the pace of development we are facing now in this digital age, I think we can also invest on a platform where our KICHE doctors and nurses, home and abroad, can offer consultations, medical consultations, clinical consultations, clinical observations and prescriptions to those who are ailing in Rukuba land. I believe that it's something that is doable, and our doctors can recommend what we can buy before we get to the hospital and save lives. That's one very good aspect with what technology can do for us. With the phone that we love to spend time with the same phone we can save a lot of situations. But come to think of it, we have an issue. We have a very big issue with telecommunications. It is our desire, or it is my opinion, in our proposal, that these two forums or fora that have deemed it necessary for a development plan to be put on ground should also consider the fact that we need to upgrade our connectivity in terms of telecommunications. We do not have a mast in our area that can help us. If we have a mast, a telecommunication mast, it's going to help us security-wise. It's going to really help us security-wise, because sometimes you are in a place where there is no network, and if anything is happening, you can't call anybody. You have issues of urgency, you want to call even your loved ones in town, in Jebubasa, in Jos, and you can't just succeed because the telecommunication is bad. Our network is bad. So we could be trapped in a situation where the network is useless to us because it's not really like that functional. You have to look for locations. And I think we could look at getting a place, could look at getting a position or a land that will offer, and see how we can invite these telecoms to come install their mast in a position whereby almost everybody in the land can be connected anytime. That way we have brought internet closer home, and people can study online on their phones, on their tablets, on their laptops, on their desktops, and that will go a long way. Nowadays we have smart TVs. You can connect your phone on your TV, and you even attend lectures. You see your lecturers talking to you. All you need is the discipline. If you don't have that discipline, then that's when you need an atmosphere where you have a supervisor, somebody who is making sure that you go through what, especially for kids. And that can be applied to health as well. It can be applied to boundary issues. I am of the opinion that we should look at things from that perspective as well.
Having looked at the education sector, the agri sector, I think it is best for us to look at commerce in KICHE land. As regards to commerce, KICHE is blessed with two markets. The Binchi market, whereby it is held every Wednesday, and it has a lot of traders that normally come from different parts of the state. Some come through Kaduna by following through Karambana, while others come from Jos going down, while others come from all the villages that we have within KICHE land and outside KICHE land. Where the boundary villages from Kaduna, they come there. Those from Miango, traders from Miango, all of them converge at Binchi every Wednesday for Binchi market. Coming to Adizinga, the second market is the normal market that we have. That market it has just shops and petty traders, and all is a daily market. We cannot say that it is a market that people come from different parts of the state to come for market activities and go back. No, it is a normal market that is held every day for daily activities. These are the two commercial areas that we know that we can call them the more commercial areas that we have in KICHE land.
Let's go.
What are those facilities then? If we now say, oh, these are some of the challenges, these are the possible solutions, what can we do within the next 1 year to the next 10 years as a strategic development plan of KICHE? Let's start from Mafara. In Mafara, for example, when we pick routes, we believe in the next 3 to 5 years, we should be able to have a road between KICHE to Opera. We should be able to have a single lane between Ukaya to Opera. We should be able to have a road network between Ukaya to Bomo. We should be able to have a road between Kaza to Ukuzo. Rather than going round from Ubumo, going round through Adizinga, following Kakek, you now go to Binchi. We should be able to have a road between now and 5 years to come. Between now and 5 years to come, we should have a road from Kaza to Ukuzo, from Ukuzo to Binchi. Then in the next 1 to 5 years, we should be able to have a road from Ukaya to Okavu. There should be a good road from Ukaya to Okavu. Then we should be able to have Kataganyi to Achasra to Bingo. Kataganyi to Achasra to Bingo in the next 1 to 5 years. Then we should be able to have a road from Kataganyi to Achasra to Abando. Then you will discover that from KICHE to Upra, there are just 4 culverts because measurements were done. Places where the culverts have been identified. You will discover that from Ukaya to Upra, you need just 2 culverts. From Upra to Kaza, you need only 1 box culvert. And if that box culvert will cost you between 300 to 400,000. Max is going to be 500,000 naira. From Asak to Adizinga, you need just 7 culverts. Box culverts. From Bomo to Gurum through Katagain, you just need just 2 culverts. And it will cost you how much? Each of these culverts is between 3 to 400,000 to 500,000. Then we are from Katagaini to Achasra to Katagaini Uchra to Abando, you need just 2 culverts. And it will cost you just 500 to what? Bus culvert which can be done within the next 2 years between 500 to 800,000. So these are things that we can easily do them without much stress. Schools at Mafara. We need at Katayani, we need a primary school in the next 3 years. At Ibandi, we need a primary school in the next 5 years. Ukavu Uchra, we need a primary school in the next 1 year. Kaza, we need a primary school there in Kaza. We need a primary school in the next 10 years at Opera. We need a secondary school in the next 10 years at Opera. We need a secondary school at Bomokabo in the next 5 years. We need a primary secondary school there. We equally need a secondary school at Okaya in the next 10 years' time. And this will cost us 100 and it will cost us in estimated amount of 150 million naira, if possible. A good secondary school. At Okaya boreholes, we need a borehole at Okaya, and it should be, we need a solar borehole at Okaya, which will call in the next 3 to 5 years, which will cost us just about 10 million naira. Then at Ukavu Uchra, we need at least one manual borehole that should be sited at what? Primary school. And it will cost us at least between 4 to 500,000 naira, maximum 600,000 naira. At Katagaini, we need one manual borehole, which should be sited at what? At the primary school too. We need it within the next 1 year. At Ubandi, we need one solar-powered borehole, which will cost us at least 10 million naira, if possible, within the next 1 year. And it should be sited at the primary school. Then at Ukaya, we need one solar borehole, which will cost us 10 million naira between 3 to the next 5 years. Then at Kaza, we need one manual borehole at the community center, one manual borehole at the primary school, and one manual borehole at the clinic. If truly we want development for there. Then we need a police post for security reasons. We need a police post at Bomo. We need one police post at Bomo. We need, and apart from Bomo, we equally need one police post at Ukaya. Ukaya needs a police post and a borehole. Then we are now moving to health facility at Bomo. We need one clinic at Okaya in the next 1 to 5 years. And we need between 2 to 3 million, 2 to 5 million possibly, to build a clinic there. Then we need Ukavu Uchra. Ukavu Uchra. We need one clinic at Ukavu Uchra to serve the people in that locality within the next 5 years. We need one clinic at Ibandi to serve the people in the next 5 years. We need one clinic at Kaza to serve the people in the next 1 year. We need a clinic at Katagaini, government clinic at Katagaini, and we need a clinic at Ukavu to serve the people in the next 1 to 5 years. Then a youth center. We need a youth center at Bomo, youth center. We need a youth center at Okaya. We need a youth center at Okavu, and we need a youth center at Opera. Chief Palace. There is need for us to have a Chief Palace at Opera, for Utu Opera. There is need for us to have a Chief Palace for Utu Bomo. There is need for us to have a Chief Palace at Utu Okaya, Utu Katakaini, Utu Okavu, Utu Ibandi, and Utu Kaza. All these places need government presence. Then let's move to Kishika district. In Kishika district, road networks. The Kishika districts need a road from Kisanchi to Alak. Then from Alak to Warsapiti. We need a road from Kishi 1 to Okaya. Then from Okaya to Buyo. Then from Buyo to Janji. And we need a road from Kishika to Kasakok. And Imbob to Kishika. You will discover that the road from Kisanchi to Alak needs just grading, and it needs only a distance of 3 kilometers. We need it within the next 3 to 5 years. The road between Kishikuk to Kishi, it just needs, it's 2 kilometers, and it requires just grading within the next 3 to 5 years. We should be able to have all these things put in place. When it comes to box culverts, you will discover that Kisanchi to Alak requires just one number of what? Box culvert. One number of box culvert. Alak to Warsapiti, we need just what? Two number of box culverts. 2 number of box culverts. Kishiku to Kishi, they need only 1 number of box culvert. Kishi to Ukaya, they need only one number of box culverts. Ukaya to Buyo, they need just 2 box culverts. Ukaya to Buyo, they need 2 box culverts. Then there is Ukaya to Buyo again, which is about 2.5 kilometers. They need 1 bridge. They need a bridge. And it is expected that this bridge will cost us between 15 to 25 million if really we are serious. Then from Buyo to Janji, they need just 1 single culvert. While Imbo to Kishika, they need only 1 culvert. Well, in terms of schools, Alak is in need of 1 primary school in the next 5 years. Kasakuk, they are in need of at least a primary school. Kishika, they are in need of a primary school in the next 10 years. A secondary school in Kishika, they need a secondary school in the next 10 years. You will discover that before people from Kishika go to the secondary school at Ibinchi, it takes a very long time, a long distance. So in view of that, in the next 10 years, we should be able to have at least a secondary school at Kishika. Then we should have a secondary school, by the grace of God, in the next 10 years too, a tertiary institution at Alak, if possible. Let's have a tertiary institution at Alak. That tertiary institution will take care of Mafara Uchra. It will take care of Buyo. It will take care of Kisanchi. It will take care of even from KICHE downward. Because if truly we want to have a good development plan, we should try by the next 10 years to 15 years, we should prepare for all, put in place all these things. Then boreholes. Alak needs 1 solar powered borehole, which will cost us 10 million naira in the next 1 to 5 years. Kasakuk, they are in need of 1 manual borehole. Kishika, they are in need of 1 manual borehole. Alak, parts of Alak again, they are also in need of 1 manual borehole. Then we have Kasakuk, also needs 1 solar borehole or solar borehole. Then there are other parts of Kasakuk too that are in need of 1 manual boreholes. So all these ones, they are some of the things that we need. In terms of police force, we need a police post at Kasakuk. We need a police post at Buyo. We need a police post at Alak. These are boundary communities that we share boundary with other communities from other states, Kaduna State. So all these places, they need security presence. Health facilities. When it comes to health facilities, Alak is in need of 1 clinic. Kasakuk is in need of 1 clinic. Kishika is in need of 1 clinic. Kisanchi is in need of 1 clinic. And by the time that we are building this 1 clinic, we should have it in mind that the staff that are living there, they equally need accommodation. Most of these clinics that we are talking about, when we have between 3 to 10 million naira, we should be able to erect a clinic. The reason is this. By the time that we start using Adobe, we will be able to meet up with some of these demands. We mustn't use concrete blocks. We can use the Adobe that our forefathers have been using. By the time that we use Adobe, we will be able to build this structure cheaply when the designs are well done. And when the builders do the right mix, these structures will stand strong and they will stand the test of time. So we mustn't use Adobe in most of the, we mustn't use CIS and corrugated iron. We mustn't use concrete blocks in most of these developments that I'm talking about. We can go for Adobe and Adobe will still serve the purpose conveniently. When it comes to youth center, Kishika needs a youth center, a 200 capacity youth center. Buyo needs a Kishika needs a 2,000 capacity youth center. Buyo needs a 1,000 youth capacity youth center, and KICHE needs a 1,500 capacity youth center. You will discover that we need a road network from Bishe to Kisuma to Aurenya to Agingi. We need a road network between Awurinya to Dogondaji. We need a befitting road network from School for the Deaf to Dogondaji. We need a befitting road network from Dogondaji to Kisoma. We need a befitting road network from Kitaza to Adizinga. From Kitaza to Adizinga. We need a befitting road network from primary school Kisagip to Kisaloy. Primary school Kisagip to Kisaloy. There is need for a befitting road network. We need a befitting road network from Kisaloy to Kehang. We must not go round Adizinga before we'll be able to go to Kisaloy. No, there should be a road between Kisaloy to Kehang. Then we need a road between Upra to Okaya. There should be a road network in the next 5 to 10 years. We should have a road network between Upra to Okaya. Now, what are those schools that are needed in the next 5 years to 10 years in Buhit district? Dusenkura needs a primary schools in the next 1 to 5 years. Agingi, they need a primary school in the next 5 years. Kisagi B need a primary school, a government primary school in the next 1 year. Agingi, they need a secondary school in the next 10 years. When we go to Binkan need a secondary school in the next 5 years. When we go to Bishe, they need a secondary school in the next 5 years. Boreholes. What are the areas that are in need of boreholes in the next 1 to 3 years in Buhit district? Some of those areas are Dusenkura, Agingi, Kisagi B, Asak, Dariba. We have Agingi too. They need both solar and manual. We have Dusenkura and we have Asak. They need equally 1 manual and 1 solar powered boreholes. In terms of commerce again, some of the challenge that we have in terms of commerce is that because Binchin Market does not have storage facilities and infrastructures, most of our people from KICHE, they prefer taking their farm produce to Karambana. And when they take this farm produce to Karambana, the revenue that's supposed to accrue to Basa local government is always taken to Karambana. And Karambana made it a point of duty whereby when they go, they make sure that they put all traders from KICHE, they put them in one place. They don't allow them to mix up or give them shops. They put them in one place under the sun and in the rain. So in view of that, it is better we create collation centers and we create more markets within KICHE to be able to bring in more revenue and development towards KICHE. Need for us, in order to improve our revenue base, there is need for us to have collation centers for our farm produce. At Mafara, we need to have a collation center at Okaya whereby soya beans, maize and tomatoes will be brought from Upra, Ibandi, Ukavu, Ukaya and Boyo. Then when we go to Kakek, we need to have a collection center at our Hilek where maize, tomatoes, acha will be brought from Aban, Agbajawambo and Ajuk. How do we raise funds for all these ladderwood projects that we have set in place? We need this project within the next 5 to 10 years in our development plan. How do we raise the funding? One of the easy ways of achieving our target is through crowdfunding. Apart from crowdfunding, there is another way of achieving our goal through individual contribution. I can decide, go to my community, how many boreholes do we need? I can decide to sink a borehole for my community. I can decide to go to a different community and sink a borehole there. I can decide to go to a different community and construct a box culvert for them. So long as I know these particular locations, they need a certain size of borehole, or a certain size of culvert, I will be able to do that. Individual donation is another way of sourcing for funds to be able to achieve our goal, or practically, you should go and do the project yourself. Then another way of getting our project to be done is through peer groups. Group of friends can come and donate money. Group of friends can decide to pick a project and say, look, let us go and do a project to a certain social community as a group. That can be done easily. By the time that these people do, it will now spur other people to key into whatever these peer groups are doing. Funding. We can have external assistance. For example, we have the World Bank activities with CSDP who can assist us. We equally have the United States Ambassador Small Grants Program. United States Ambassador Small Grant Program, whereby they give up to $10,000 for projects that has to do with communities. We also have the Australian government grants through its embassy. They give about 16,000 Australian dollars to projects that involves community. We also have the grant assistance for grassroots human security project. Grant assistance for grassroots human security project issued by Japan government. Issued by Japan government through its embassy in Abuja. These embassies, they can help us have this thing. We equally have friends abroad that can facilitate in bringing in health equipment. Some of us can talk to some of our friends in the US to facilitate in bringing in donations for hospital equipment. This we can be done. But the question is, how do we start to do this? How do we start in achieving our goal? The only way we can start to achieve our goal is by BCDA setting an implementation team. That is the beginning. When BCDA set an implementation team, this implementation team is going to have subsidiary committees under it. And when they have subsidiary committees under them, they will now study the needs of our various communities. Then these teams will equally have sub-teams in all our villages that link up to the parent team. By the time that we have put all these teams in place and we go through all the needs of our localities, then we'll be able to achieve our goal. If we don't start from somewhere, there is no way we'll be able to achieve our goal.
Another very important thing that we must look at if we are going to be very articulate, and this is foundational, we need to know how many people we have, our head count. Bache people can count themselves. How many of us? We are not sure how many of us are there on earth as Bache people. Are we 500,000? Are we not up to 500,000? Are we just 500,000 voting population or 100,000 voting population? Are the entire population children, youth, and do we have all those demographics put together so that we know how to plan for this thing? If we are going to do a fundraising, then we need to know our population, because with your population you can plan. You can be able to say, okay, what's the earning power within this range and this range, and you can put a very minimal amount where everybody can afford, and then those who have the wherewithal, they can give even more and even pay for others. But let's make it a point of duty to know how many of us are there alive in Plateau, in Nigeria, in the world at large. How many of us do we have in diaspora? Diaspora within Nigeria, diaspora outside Nigeria. How many of us do we have? And that is very important for us to also put as a key thing to lay on ground. So I would be suggesting, or we as a proposer will be suggesting, that the committee that is going to be put on ground, the implementation team, should have that in mind. They should have the agenda or the project of counting the Unache wherever they are. It is going to help us to solve this thing like that, because this implementation plan or this development plan, strategic development plan. We cannot sit here and put together a development plan and we expect that we are taking it to government and tell them, do this for us. We are planning for ourselves. We are planning as an NGO, BCDA and Good Governance Forum to see how we can contribute and join hands with government to develop our area. The better we see it, the earlier we see it that way, the better for us. But if we are sitting here and our elected politicians and those who are technocrats in the civil service are thinking we are doing this so that we'll now go to government to ask for their hand in handling this, then I think we will be doing, that will be a futile, an exercise in futility. It is our desire that, look, we move out of this stagnance that we have lingered in for a long time. Some of us are as old as maybe a little younger than politics, as it were, a little younger than politics, and yet the dividends of democracy, it's not really written all over our land. And I think this is a good platform. This is a good move. This is a good initiative for us to build on. Our younger ones could make it better and perfect it better, but let's just start something. Let that legacy linger, and I believe God will take us there. That's my take. God bless Onache. Onache, Igbitigin.